Why Bastino needs just 2 pacemakers.
Basically, we want a very good gallop because our horse is an out-and-out stayer. He hasn't got a tremendous turn of foot. And we want to assure that there is a good gallop, from the gate. And if these 2 horses of ours can lead us the first sort of 7 furlongs to a mile, by that stage the race should be in full progress, and we can do it. I'll take charge from there.
All in all, it's brewing up to be a fantastic race, and I think the extra bonus of having 2 pacemakers is going to ensure it'll be a fast pace not only for Bastino, but for 1 or 2 other out-and-out stayers. Now, for instance, this is going to suit Dahlia, too.
I don't think Dahlia, for myself, has really come back to her peak. I know she's run 5 times, and they keep on making excuses for her, but she'd have to come really back to her top form to win this race.
Do you think that by really forcing it and sending Bastino into the leads, perhaps just as you reach the straight, you're going to possibly try to crack Grundy's late burst? Is that one of the intentions?
Well, it suits my horse, immaterial what else we crack. It's my horse's way of galloping, and he wants a good pace all the way. If Grundy is an out-and-out standing 3-year-old, he'll beat us at the weights. But for me, I don't think the 3-year-olds this year, apart from himself, are really up to scratch.
If that is so, then we must look to Dahlia. Can she do it? 3 in a row, this unpredictable filly. She's part of Nelson Bunker Hunt's international bloodstock empire, which comprises of over 500 horses. This tremendous circus is managed by the globe-trotting Australian Jim Shannon. And I put it to him that Dahlia hasn't yet shown form this season. What does he think of Dahlia's chances today?
Now, I agree with you. She hasn't hit form, but she's so good. We always hope that she'll come back to her best. Morris Silver, her great trainer and my friend, he feels that she is nearly back to her best, and we're hoping that she'll run a great race. The only worry that Morris has, of course, is Grundy. I feel that he's one of the best horses you've had for years, and it'll take a very good horse to beat him, and Dahlia will have to be right at her best.
It's going to be a strongly run race because Bastino has not 1 but 2 pacemakers in. Surely this will suit the flying filly because she loves to come from behind.
Yes, this is the first time we haven't supplied our own pacemaker, and it's nice to see of someone else doing it. I feel sure that Leicester will ride a great race, and if she's beaten, we won't have any complaints.
Well, there is a great international aspect, and there's much prestige to be won here this afternoon. Germany is represented by the ex-Irish horse Star Appeal. And apart from Dahlia, from France, we have Ashmore running in the Allée France colours, Card King, and On My Way. Can Grundy be only the 5th Derby winner in 25 years to win the King George in the same year? Millreef was the last one. Indeed, some critics feel that Grundy might not stay 1.5 miles in a really fast-run race. What does Millreef's trainer, Ian Balding, think of that?
It's really it's the opposition's only hope. There's Bastino, who's a doer stayer, and a pretty good horse. But personally, I think Grundy is sort of in the Millreef class. And I think he'll show them a clean pair of heels myself.
How then does Ian Balding compare Grundy with Millreef?
Well, it's very difficult. I mean, I really do think he's certainly very much in the same class. He's an outstanding 2-year-old, as Millreef was. He was beaten in the Guineas, as Millreef was. He won the Derby in similar style. And whereas we went for the Eclipse, then he won the Irish Derby in great style. And I think he'll win very easily myself.
Who does he see following Grundy home?
I think Bastino will be 2nd. And I think maybe Ashmore 3rd. I'm just, I'm taking a chance that Dahlia, has gone over the top, really, and not quite the same marvellous mare that she was.
Well, the fascination of this year's race is it has brought together classic winners of 3 generations. John Hislop was lucky enough to breed and own Brigadier Gerard, who won this race back in 1972. And I put it to him that modern breeders are looking more and more to races like the King George and the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe for the future international stallions.
I think that the modern pattern now is that people look to a horse that's proved himself as a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and taken on other generations. And to my mind, the King George and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes is the best race in the world because it comes at the height of the racing season, whereas the Arc is at the end of the season, where horses sometimes have lost their form and the going is very often heavy. Now, you very seldom get a bad horse. In fact, you've never got a bad horse win the King George, but you sometimes get a bad horse win the Arc. Any suggestions of the horse that is going to perhaps emulate Brigadier Gerard? Well, Grundy looks the obvious suggestion, but of course Dahlia is rather unpredictable, and at her best, I wouldn't be surprised to see her win.
That was John Hislop, who owned and bred Brigadier Gerard. Now today, on this 25th anniversary of the King George, call up John Fenton for late news on the betting.
More money for the favourite now. Grundy now odds on. 11 to 10 on Grundy, 4 to 1 Bustino, 6 is Dahlia, 12 to 1 Star Appeal, 16 bar.
Thank you, John Fenton and Michael Phillips of the Times. The last one to go in is On My Way. He's a bit restive. They're all in. They're all under starters' orders now. Up goes the flag for the King George on this sultry hot day on fast ground, and they're off. And the first one to show is Bustino. Where's his pacemaker, I wonder? And here he goes down the outside. And it is Highest that is the first to show. And it's Highest and Kinglet. The two pacemakers have burst away from the stalls. And Bustino is in third place and following them. And the race is on. And it is now Highest by a length and a half from Kinglet in the same colours as Bustino. Then in third place is the German horse Star Appeal. Then comes Bustino. Then Grundy and Pat Eddery. Then Dahlia. Behind Dahlia towards the outside Ashmore. Then Dibbydale. On the outside of Dibbydale is On My Way and Libra's Rib and Card King. That's the tail enders now as they go towards the milepost, with the two pacemakers burning up the track up front. Highest by a length and a half from Kinglet. In third place is Star Appeal. Then 3 lengths to Bustino. Then another 3 lengths to Grundy. The field well and truly stretched out. Tracking Grundy on the inside is Lester Piggott on Dahlia. On his outside comes Ashmore for France. Then Card King. Then Dibbydale. Then Libra's Rib. And finally On My Way as they turn up the hill now towards the 6 furlong from home marker. Halfway now. And Kinglet takes over as Highest drops away. So the pacemaking tactics are really working. Kinglet now forcing it. Star Appeal is in second place. Bustino moving easily as third. Then comes Grundy in fourth place, just ahead of Ashmore. Dahlia moving sweetly. Then comes Card King. Then comes Libra's Rib. Behind Libra's Rib, Dibbydale. On My Way. And finally is Highest. Now they're coming round towards the 4 furlong marker. And Kinglet drops away and Bustino takes over. Grundy follows him through. Star Appeal is in third place. Dahlia is fourth. The race is really on, and the pattern is emerging now. Bustino bursting for home. 2 lengths clear of Grundy. In third place is Star Appeal. Lester Piggott poised on the heels of the leaders on Dahlia as they straighten out. 2.5 to run, and Bustino is the leader from Grundy, who comes under pressure in the second place. Dahlia is third. They've got 2 furlongs to run, and Pat Eddery is really asking Grundy for an effort, and Bustino is holding on grimly. But here comes Grundy with his run. Under the whip, it's Grundy going to challenge Bustino, but Bustino has a neck lead, and here comes Grundy. It's a war of attrition between 2 horses, and Grundy is giving him the upper hand. It's Grundy as Bustino just weakens close home. 25 yards to go. It's Grundy and Bustino, 2 great English horses. Dahlia's going to be third. Grundy, Bustino, Dahlia. What a race! What a race! Will we ever see the like of that again? And Grundy has done it. I've never seen a finish. Michael Phillips, have you ever seen a race like that?
Peter, I don't think I've ever been so excited in all my life. This was the real epitome of a horse race. The pacemakers did their stuff like Billy-O, and then Bustino took it up just when Joe Mercer said he would. He went for home. He went for as if his life depended upon it. Grundy looked beaten at one stage, but what courage! He came, Pat Eddery was driving him 2 furlongs from home. I didn't think he could catch Bustino, but he wore him down, and I think that we in England can be delighted that Grundy's going to be standing next year on our national stud, and that Bustino is going to be on the Queen's Stud near Sandringham. This was a tremendous boost for British bloodstock, and remember, Dahlia, who's won this race the last 2 years, was third.
Yes, Dahlia has just gone in the frame as number 8, third, and the 4th horse was number 5, On My Way. So the French challenge has been well and truly repulsed, and I think we saw 2 immensely tough horses ridden by 2 superlative jockeys, and indeed I think Grundy deserves the greatest credit for coming under the strongest pressure well below the distance to get alongside Grundy, alongside Bustino. Once he did get alongside, it was a war of attrition. It wasn't over in a stride. Grundy battled his way inch by inch up on Bustino, and as the post drew closer, suddenly we saw that Bustino just had no more to give, and Pat Eddery, in that wonderful whirlwind driving, fluent, flexible, rhythmical style,
stroked Grundy past the post to win, I should think, by probably a neck, maybe half a length, but certainly not more than that in a driving finish. Two superlative horses, Britain first and second in the King George. This is the 25th anniversary. Apart from Rebo's win, which I don't think I will ever forget, that was a long, long time ago, back in 1956. I do not think I have heard or seen a race like this. So the price is Grundy 5-4 on favourite, Bastino 4-1, Dahlia 6-1 was third. Let's just relive those closing stages once again. 2.5 to run, and Bastino is the leader from Grundy, who comes under pressure in the second place. Dahlia is third. They've got 2 furlongs to run, and Pat Edry is really asking Grundy for an effort, and Bastino is holding on grimly. But here comes Grundy with his run. Under the whip, it's Grundy going to challenge Bastino, but Bastino has a neck lead, and here comes Grundy. It's a war of attrition between 2 horses, and Grundy is giving in the upper hand. It's Grundy as Bastino just weakens close home. 25 yards to go. It's Grundy and Bastino, 2 great English horses. Dahlia's going to be third. Grundy, Bastino, Dahlia. What a race! What a race! Will we ever see the like of that again?
Wonderful race indeed, described there by Peter Bromley. We'll have the starting point. We'll have the starting point.
Sir Philip Oppenheimer, the chairman of De Beers, and the magnificent trophy to be presented to Dr. Carlo Vittadini. Silver and diamond trophy worth £5,000, designed by Gerald Benny, who's used 76 diamonds in the lid to the cigar box, which incorporates the coat of arms of the late King George VI and the Queen Mother. And the Queen now presents her own trophy to Dr. Carlo Vittadini after the race which Her Majesty won herself in 1954 with Oriel. And the brooch for the trainer, Peter Warwin, designed by Yuki Takahashi from Tokyo, made of white gold and onyx and set with some 140 brilliant cut diamonds, and doubtless destined for Mrs. Peter Warwin, von Corwin. And now Pat Edry, who receives the gold money clip from the Queen Mother. The gold money clip incorporating the 5 colours of the enamelling, which represents the photoelectric cell at the finishing post. And so the trophies for the 1975 King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes are presented.
As we saw, the present